Yo, BJ with StreamFit here. If you are a fitness buff, you've read magazines, books, you've probably heard the deadlift is a move you have to do. It's gonna build strength, head to toe, really load at the backside of the body. But the reality is a lot of us who wanna work out at home, in smaller gyms with not as many dumbbell or barbell access, not a lot of weight access, we can't really do it in a way that loads us up the right way. So that's where the single leg deadlift comes into play. It's also moving very specific to sprinting, the start of a sprint. We're gonna build the entire backside of the body and really hammer home mobility all around, particularly getting the upper mid-back working big time. So the single leg deadlift, all we're gonna do is get on one leg, back knee is bent about 90 degrees, start with your body weight only. And what I'm gonna first do is, actually we're bending about the knees, ankles, all three, and hips. So everything's involved here. I'm gonna hinge back at the hips, push my hamstrings back to the wall, and then squat down until my belly compresses into my thigh. Initially, you might just get the fingertips to touch. Make sure our shoulders aren't struggling, we're keeping them in the socket. The upper mid-back area might round a little bit, but as long as your lower back is flat, you're good to go. And then I can work to get my palms pressed all the way down. I stand up, get full extension of the hip. You can also want to try to push the knee out a little bit. Push it out to the side, clear space, gets that good external rotation of the hip to make you stronger, take pressure off the knee, and working to the point where I can fully compress my belly into my thigh, get my palms flat, keep my shoulders in the sockets, minimizing the rounding up top is the way to go. Now, if I want to load that up, first pick one dumbbell. I can load the same side hand as the leg that I'm supporting. It's called ipsilateral loading. I can also load the opposite side hand, contralateral loading. Both are good. Just make sure you work both in your training program. Going loaded one side is going to cause the hips to kick in a little more core work as well as we fight that balance. Loaded the same side, inner thigh adductors have to work to pull us in. Loaded on the opposite side, outer hip thigh have to work hard to pull us away from being pulled into the midline. So what I'm going to do is take first right hand, right foot, shoulder in the socket, push the hamstrings back, squat it down to the floor, pause right at the bottom. If you want to rest in the ground for a second, dead start strength, you can do that. Very specific to coming out of a sprinter position where you are in a dead start position. Starting strength is key. Football players, sprinters, track athletes, that type of thing. Now other side, contralateral loading, squat down, push the knee out, load the center of the foot, get that belly to the thigh, pause, punch up. You don't have to rest on the ground, by the way. You can if you want, but just make sure you don't bounce and create momentum. Final option, both dumbbells loaded. Really got to make sure we don't round the lower back and keep that tightness in the upper body and shoulders in the socket. I'm going to push my hamstring back again, lower down, control, pause, gather, stand up. You can touch if you need to. Try to avoid doing that. Push the hips back, load it, come down, stand up, squeeze the glute. Great way to get the deadlift going with minimal weights at home, anywhere you want. Glutes, upper back, mid-back, lower back, even calves are on fire in this movement. Become a free member at StreamFit.com today and try the single leg deadlift to get into the best shape of your life with very minimal equipment, head to toe. We'll see you next time.